The second section of the foundation of a successful sales and marketing business is called Start Where You Are. A common question I get from salespeople is, how do I get started? Many times, it's not even a brand new salesperson. It could be someone who's been in the business for a few years. Well, I always tell them what I used to tell my own salespeople, and that is to start where you are. What do I mean by that? It's simple, really. Your first and best place to start is in your sphere of influence, your friends, family, and acquaintances. It's stunning to me and sad how often people come into the business and choose the low percentage, low payout, and much harder cold call over just calling up a few friends, but it happens every day. The main culprit is fear of rejection, which eventually comes down to fear of failure. They're scared that if they ask a family member about anything financial, they may seem pushy, or the person might say no and reject them, or the family may not want to be around them because they're scared they'll get sold to, and on and on and on it goes. In the end, these salespeople really do not believe in themselves or in their product. And I can relate. When I first started in the business, I had incredible telephobia. I was afraid of the phone. Maybe you can relate to this. You sit there and spend 20 minutes going over in your head what you will say or how you will say it. You even think through the whole call, and finally, you take a deep breath and dial the number. The person picks up the phone and says something totally different than you imagined, and now you fumble through the call. Before the next call, you begin to make excuses why you don't need to call them. You make an objection up for them. Well, Uncle Charlie is rich. He doesn't need my help. They don't have much money. They can't buy what I'm selling. Or my favorite, my sister's pretty smart. I need to get some experience under my belt before I call her, and so on and so on. Well, how are you going to get the experience? Let your customer object to you. Do not do it for them. Now, you may have heard of the description of the 500-pound phone. That concept typifies the challenge some people have about making phone calls, particularly the smartphone generation. Some of them would rather text or post on Instagram rather than actually make a phone call. But I am here to tell you that if you want to be really successful, you have to get over that fear. I believe as technology creates more distance between us, people crave more human interaction. You have to make contact with people and have meaningful conversations with them if you expect to buy those brain cells. I used to struggle with this myself, but after a while, I could not stand that feeling in the pit of my gut where I knew I needed to make calls, but kept coming up with excuses anyway. Then one day I made the decision that changed my career. I would just get 100 names together and spend all day calling each one until I got a sale. I would immediately dial the next number without thinking about what I would say or even hanging up the receiver. I just wanted to book a sale. Well, not only did I book one sale that day, I booked 5. That was the first real day of making calls. I just forced myself to do it. And you know what? It was fun. No one bit my head off. I actually survived. I just gutted it out and I did it. If you're brand new and really scared, try this approach. Hey, cousin Tom, I know you're doing really well and I've always admired you. Do you mind if I practice pre-qualifying you for a mortgage? It will only take 5 minutes. They usually will say yes. And by the time you're done, you can usually find a way to assist them. I do suggest that whether you are new and you use a version of the script above, or you're more experienced, you need to have a written script and get comfortable with it. Keep it on your desk when you make the calls and reference it when you need to. I guarantee you after about 10 calls, you will no longer need it. We have 2 pages which will help you think about at least 40 people you know right now. Print the 2 pages off and utilize them. Get your names down and then just give them a call. You must break through the fear of the phone call if you want to be a top producer. There is not a single top producer in the mortgage business who is scared to do deals for family members. Hence, if you want to be a top producer, you need to start there. You will find in the end that it's easy and fun. An important part of the process should also be that you're capturing their information. Get their email address, get their cell phone number, and put that in your database. Remember the power of 250. You want to leverage that in your database. In the next section, we will specifically discuss the long-term value of your database. Thank you for watching.